Okay, y'all, let's talk about solving for right triangles. Right? All the unknowns in a right triangle, trigonometry. Up here, we have a right triangle. It has a right angle indicated by this square, and then this here indicates angle theta. This is the angle that's unknown that we're trying to solve for. We have a 6 and an 8, right? We have to find out what the adjacent, opposite, hypotenuse, cosine, sine, tangent, and the angle are. How we determine this is by finding out where the angle is that we're trying to solve for. So this is our angle right here. So adjacent means next to. So if this is the angle that I'm trying to solve for, then the side that is next to my angle is my adjacent angle. So I can go ahead and write a 6 right here. The side that is opposite from the angle that you're looking for, that is known as the opposite side. So this side here, given length, is 8. So I can go ahead and put an 8 for my opposite. Okay. At this point, I know two things, and we have to remember to solve for sine, we use so. For cosine, ka, and t is toa. T means for tangent. Remember this rhyme here, we do so, ka, toa, or we do some old hag came a hopping through our alley, right? And then all we have to really remember is that this symbol here with the t, that the horizontal line means division. So if I'm looking for sine, I covered up my finger and I solve for it by doing opposite divided by hypotenuse. The vertical sign stands for multiplication. So if I'm looking for opposite, I'd cover it up and I would do sine times hypotenuse. Right? So in this case here, I know my adjacent and I know my opposite. As long as I know two things in my algebra triangle, then I can solve for an unknown, right? Knowing that I know my opposite side and my adjacent side, I can solve for my tangent, right? So I cover up t, and I'm left with opposite divided by adjacent. And in this case here, my opposite is going to be 8. My adjacent is going to be 6. So opposite divided by adjacent. So I take my calculator, and that's what I do. I do 8 divided by 6, and I get 1.33. So 1.33 equals my tangent. So down here, I write 1.33. Once I know any of my trigonometry functions, which would be my cosine, sine, or tangent, I can then solve for angle theta using the negative sign. Recall that we have sine, cosine, and tangent, and then we have a negative 1, and a negative 1. How we get this lighter color up here is by hitting the second function. So what I can type in is second, and then the tangent function, which stands for the negative 1, and then all I have to do is enter in what my tangent is, 1.33, hit the equal sign, and I get 53.0. So my angle is 53 degrees. All right, really important there that I hit the negative sign. If I don't, if I just type in tangent and then 1.33, I get 0.0232. Remember, guys, this is not correct. You're going to have an angle that's somewhere between 1 and 90. So it has to be a whole number. So if you're trying to find the angle and you forget to hit the negative sign and you have an answer that looks something crazy like this, then you know you did it wrong. And there's only two ways to do this. Negative 1 or tangent. So at that point, I know I have to hit the negative function because the other one didn't mess up on me, and do 1.33 and get the angle. Once I have my angle, then I just have to do the opposite in order to find my sine and cosine. Instead of hitting the negative 1 function, all I have to do is type in sine and then my given angle, which is 53. Hit the equals function, and I get 0.79. So I'll type in 0.79 for my sine. That's a done deal. All right. Once I know my cosine, again, knowing my angle, I can solve for cosine by just typing in cosine and then typing in 53 equals 0.60. Right? Now, the only thing I have left here is my hypotenuse. to solve for my hypotenuse, I have a couple of options here. I have a hypotenuse up here in sine. I have another one up here in cosine. If I cover up on sine, then all I have to do is my opposite divided by my sine. My opposite is 8 divided by my sine, which is 0.79. That equals 8 divided by 0.79 equals 10.12. Or I could do my cosine, where I have my adjacent divided by my cosine. My adjacent was 6 divided by 0.60. 6 divided by 0.60 equals 10. Now I know you're going to see that I got 10 here and 10.2. Well, to be honest with you, this 0.79, in reality, I would most likely round this up to 0.8 instead. 0.80 instead of 0.79. And if I do that, I have 8 divided by 0.80, and that gives me 10. All right, I know I didn't round it originally, guys, but trust me, 10 is not very different from 10.12. Right, and either one of those answers is going to be correct, but it's so close. But usually I want you guys to round, and you would round to the 0.80. All right, good luck.